Okay, been talking about, envisioning the future and everything else, but here's another component of it all. Uh, it's multi-layered. Number one is, well, one is the physical. What we're seeing here now is a change. Number two is the mental. How are we going to think about this now? Are we going to accept it? Are we going to change our mind? You know, it's like, all right, one side won. So it's going to take a change in the mental, no matter which side you're on. And the third one is the spiritual. I mean, you can't change without changing that level. And there's a big, big spiritual that I'm seeing a spiritual component that is changing. Now, it gets into woo woo and all that stuff, but I think it's very, very important. Unless you can change your mind, but unless you change your heart, nothing's going to happen. And I want to just bring a little bit of an example here. I've been really, really, if I'm not making a video, I'm working on myself or distracting myself, one or the other. You know, I have free time. I'm semi-retired, so I can think about things. So I'm not 100% good at it, but I think I spend a few hours a day doing it. And what I said to God, my higher, whatever, is that, hey, I want to change my attitude because I want it to work better. And there's two different ways, it's like, um, I've been spiritual for a long, long time. I was a Christian in Christian leadership, blah, blah, blah. And I still quote the Bible, the good book. So, yeah, but what about the other part of my life? I want to have more money. I don't need more money, but I want to have more money. And how do I integrate that into my life? I mean, with more money, I could do more help. I could live a better life in a better place and connect with better people, better, like-minded, resonate. I can make more of a difference. I can contribute to humanity. But how do you integrate those two things? That's my question. I mean, the physical and the spiritual and mental are separate sort of realms, but they each, influence each other. If you got the right spiritual, it'll influence the mental, which will influence the physical. So if that's not happening, you got to go back inside yourself and say, hey, what's going on here? And you got to ask for help because you don't know. Yeah, you can get it from spirit, but we're really crappy filters. We interpret everything that the spirit says through our filter. And that's just not a good thing. You got to have feedback. Okay, so here's a good thing that happened. I said, hey, what am I going to call him? I don't know. Lord, whatever. That just came to my mind. Lord, help me with this. Help me with this. And that's why I go and I make videos about confirmation. Help me with this. Am I thinking right? What am I not getting? And I think he, I don't want to call it it because, the English language is really, really not adequate at all for what we're dealing with. So I'm going to call him he. Okay. Don't get your offense mechanism up. I'm just calling them something. And I said, I want to do it different. It's time to change. Oh, wow. You get it? Change. So last night, I woke up and I had this beautiful dream about a beautiful relationship that I could have. And I got up, walked around, and it was kind of interesting because I related it all to my past. I used past people's names and all this stuff about the past where I grew up and used their names and about, all this stuff was about a good relationship. It was a very enjoyable dream. I felt really good about it. And said, wow, this is a change. And here's another woo woo thing. This guy's trying to clear the evil from the world, the control matrix. And the demon or whatever, just call it whatever. You can ask questions. The demon said, oh, we harvest loosh energy, whether it's fear or joy. Wow. We just harvest it all. I only thought they fostered, you know, anger, fear, guilt, shame, and harvested that. No, no, no. We harvest the good stuff too because it's more pure. We harvest it all. Wow. We love to harvest joy, bliss, and peace. So guess what? Doesn't matter which way you think. They're going to harvest it. So, if that's the way it is here, why don't we just experience all the joy that we can, the bliss, hmm? And then learn how to protect ourselves. So they only get a little bit because, the matrix needs something. We got to pay a little something in there, keep the matrix going. And remember, the energy's changing. So it might be okay now to invest a little more joy into the system. Because maybe that's the thing about the new system coming and about this guy. And I get confirmation from every day. Hey, we're seeing this, we're seeing that, that's not the only guy that's doing it. I really like this guy because you know, he's in the mental and the spiritual realm. He's not battling on the physical. And a lot of these other people are too. He's battling there. And he knows things. And I get things from him. He's one of my bridges. Am I called to be, go all in and go do battle with? No, but I love it. And I comment on every social media thing that I get from him. And a lot of other people too. So support who you can, support who you resonate with by comments, by praying, by thinking about them, by blessing them. That's what we need. We need to come together in the energy. Who cares if they're trying to harvest joy from us? Let's overwhelm it and learn how to protect ourselves. Hmm? Bring that barrier around and say, I am me. This is my power. You can't steal that from me. I'll give you some if you do the right thing. I'll give you some. But that was a good dream. I said, thank you. Up there. I always go up there. Thank you. Doesn't make any difference. Just know that you have some gratitude for something good happening to you. Do whatever you want. And we always go like that because maybe that's where our cells are. I always do it that way. I know a lot of people do it too. Just make sure you're not giving your power away because you got all the power in the world. But just know another level. They're harvesting your joy too, they. And still accept all the joy, the love, the peace, all of that stuff coming into you. Because the more you have, my cup runneth over, the more you can give out, the more flows out through you. So I always want to go back to the bridge and how I can help. But I did. I just did now on this whole thing. And really, it's like now it's getting a little easier or better to say, I don't want to make these videos anymore. I don't want to be a bridge. Well, I'm getting a new thing, new download, whatever. It's time to teach you about the spiritual and mental component. It's always been there. Connect with that. One guy said, and you don't need to spend 4 hours of meditation. No. If you have it inside of you, you're thinking about it all the time. You're driving good, really good time because, hey, it's automatic. You can even do it at work because many of the tasks that you have are just on automatic. You've done them 1,000 million times before. And that other part of your brain, your mind, you can always be cognizant, thinking. What's the new thing? Well, what am I supposed to be doing? What is the new revelation? It's there all the time. And once it occupies your mind, it'll happen. So let's go over it again. There's several levels. I just have three. There's who knows. Physical, mental, spiritual. You can divide them up, 3D, 4D, 5D, whatever you want. Secondly, you really have to get down and say, hey, I want a good experience. And then one was delivered. Then one will be delivered to you. That's my example. I want a good experience. And I want to integrate the three levels in my life. And no matter what kind of emotion or loosh that you generate, something's going to suck on it. But if you learn how to protect yourself, you can only allow so much if you're in your power. And then you give it away, or it overflows through you. And it only goes for good purposes. And there are people out there that are destroying the malevolence. How do they do that? They just expose them because you put it in the light and it's gone. So look forward to having good dreams, I guess. Good things happen to you. Pay attention. Look for them. Notice them. And then be grateful. You just be happy. Just be full of joy. Let all the fear and shame and guilt go away. And the trauma, just let it go. I mean, let it go, but how do you let it go? Is by concentrating on the good stuff that's happening to you. And allow it to happen. And allow that $10,000 a month to come to you. Just a round number. For most people in most places of the earth, that would pretty much, do it for you. Maybe not in the United States or in the Western world, but hey, you can live on a lot less than you're living now. But just a nice round number. Thank you.